High in the central highlands of Afghanistan, nestled among the rugged peaks of the Hindu Kush, lives a people known as the Hazara. These mountains, with their imposing heights and treacherous paths, have been both a sanctuary and a challenge for the Hazara people. The Hindu Kush, with its snow-capped peaks and deep valleys, forms a natural fortress that has shaped the lives and culture of the Hazara for generations. For centuries, they have called this unforgiving terrain their home, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of the mountains. The land, though harsh and demanding, provides them with sustenance and a sense of belonging. The Hazara people have developed unique agricultural practices suited to the high-altitude environment, growing crops and tending to livestock in ways that have been passed down through the ages. Their history, much like the landscape they inhabit, is a tapestry woven with threads of resilience, sorrow, and an enduring spirit. The mountains have witnessed their joys and sorrows, their triumphs and tribulations. Each generation of Hazara has added its own chapter to this ongoing story, a story that is as rugged and enduring as the peaks that surround them. The Hazara people, with their distinct language and culture, carry within them a rich heritage, passed down through generations. Their traditions, from music and dance to storytelling and craftsmanship, are vibrant expressions of their identity. Elders play a crucial role in preserving this heritage, teaching the younger generations about their history, values, and customs. Their story, however, is one that has been tragically overshadowed by a long and brutal history of persecution. From the time of the Mongol invasions to the more recent conflicts in Afghanistan, the Hazara have faced relentless oppression. Their resilience in the face of such adversity is a testament to their strength and determination. The Hazara, easily identifiable by their distinct features, have long been marginalized and targeted for their ethnicity and faith. Their unique physical characteristics, which set them apart from other ethnic groups in Afghanistan, have often made them targets of discrimination and violence. Despite this, they have maintained a strong sense of identity and community. This religious difference has been a significant factor in the persecution they have faced. Their faith is a central part of their identity, providing them with a sense of purpose and community. This difference, coupled with their physical appearance often linked to Central Asian ancestry, has made them vulnerable to prejudice and violence. Their Central Asian features are a testament to their historical roots, connecting them to a broader cultural and historical context that extends beyond the borders of Afghanistan. Over the centuries, they have endured waves of persecution, displacement, and unspeakable atrocities, leaving an indelible mark on their collective memory. The scars of these experiences are visible in the stories they tell, the songs they sing, and the way they live their lives. Despite being uprooted from their homes and forced to seek refuge in foreign lands, the Hazara have always found ways to rebuild and continue their traditions. Despite the hardships they have faced, the Hazara people have clung fiercely to their identity and their hope for a brighter future. Education is highly valued in their community, seen as a pathway to empowerment and a better life. Cultural festivals and celebrations are occasions for the Hazara to come together, reaffirm their bonds, and celebrate their heritage. They are known for their resilience, their warmth, and their unwavering spirit in the face of adversity. The sense of community among the Hazara is strong, with families and neighbors supporting each other through thick and thin. Their hospitality is renowned, and they take pride in their ability to welcome and care for guests. Their story is one of human endurance, a testament to the power of the human spirit to survive even in the darkest of times. The Hazara have shown that even in the face of overwhelming odds, it is possible to persevere and maintain one's dignity and humanity. Their journey is a powerful reminder of the strength and resilience that lies within us all. It is a story that demands to be heard, a call for understanding and empathy that echoes across the mountains they call home. The Hazara's experiences offer valuable lessons about the importance of tolerance, compassion, and the need to stand against injustice. As we listen to their story, we are reminded of our shared humanity and the enduring power of hope. To understand the plight of the Hazara people, one must journey back in time to the 19th century, a period that marked a turning point in their history. This era was not just a mere chapter in the annals of time, but a significant epic that would shape the destiny of the Hazara community for generations to come. It was during this era, under the rule of Emir Abdur Rahman Khan, that the Hazara people faced a systematic campaign of persecution that would forever alter their fate. Emir Abdur Rahman Khan, often referred to as the Iron Emir, sought to consolidate his power and viewed the Hazaras, with their distinct ethnic and religious identity, as a threat to his rule. Accused of rebellion and viewed with suspicion by the ruling elite, they became targets of a brutal campaign aimed at subjugating and displacing them. The Hazaras, predominantly Shia Muslims in a predominantly Sunni country, were seen as outsiders and were subjected to severe discrimination and violence. The forces of Emir Abdur Rahman Khan swept through the Hazarajat, the central highlands where the Hazara people were concentrated. These highlands, known for their rugged beauty and strategic importance, became the battleground for a series of violent military campaigns. Villages were razed, homes destroyed, and countless Hazaras were killed or driven from their ancestral lands. The devastation was widespread, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair. Families were torn apart, and the very fabric of Hazara society was ripped to shreds. The lucky ones managed to escape across the border into neighboring countries, seeking refuge from the violence that had engulfed their homeland. These refugees faced an uncertain future, often living in harsh conditions and struggling to rebuild their lives in foreign lands. This exodus marked the beginning of the Hazara diaspora, scattering their community across the globe. From the Middle East to South Asia, and even to the far reaches of the Western world, the Hazaras sought new beginnings while carrying the weight of their tragic past. The brutality of this period left an indelible scar on the Hazara psyche. The trauma of these events was not just physical, but deeply psychological, affecting the collective consciousness of the Hazara people. The stories of massacres, forced displacement, and systematic discrimination were passed down through generations, becoming an integral part of their collective memory. These narratives, often shared through oral traditions, served as a reminder of their resilience and the enduring spirit of their community. The 19th century marked the beginning of a long and dark chapter for the Hazara people, one characterized by systemic oppression and a constant struggle for survival. Despite the immense challenges, the Hazaras have continued to persevere, holding on to their identity and heritage with unwavering determination. Their history is a testament to their strength and resilience in the face of adversity. The 20th century, unfortunately, brought little respite from the suffering endured by the Hazara people. This ethnic merely residing in the central highlands of Afghanistan has a long history of persecution and marginalization. Their distinct ethnic and religious identity has often made them targets of systemic discrimination and violence. Despite the changing political landscape of Afghanistan, they continued to face discrimination and violence. Various regimes came and went, each promising change, yet the Hazara community's plight remained largely unchanged. They were often caught in the crossfire of political upheavals, their suffering exacerbated by the instability that plagued the nation. Their plight largely ignored by those in power, the Hazaras found themselves marginalized in every aspect of life. Government officials, preoccupied with their own agendas, often turned a blind eye to the suffering of this community. The lack of political will to address their issues left the Hazaras in a perpetual state of vulnerability. They were denied equal opportunities, access to education and healthcare, and their voices were systematically silenced. Hazara children struggled in underfunded schools, while their families faced inadequate healthcare facilities. The systemic neglect they experienced was a stark reminder of their marginalized status in society. The rise of the Taliban in the 1990s further exacerbated their suffering. The Taliban's extremist ideology viewed the Hazara as heretics, leading to a brutal campaign of persecution against them. The Taliban's rise to power marked one of the darkest periods in Hazara history. The Taliban, with their extremist ideology, viewed the Hazara as heretics, subjecting them to some of the most horrific atrocities in their history. The Taliban's campaign against the Hazaras was marked by extreme violence and brutality, aimed at eradicating their presence, subjecting them to some of the most horrific atrocities in their history. The Taliban's actions included massacres, forced conversions, and widespread human rights abuses. Entire villages were decimated, and countless lives were lost in the Taliban's ruthless campaign. Massacres, forced conversions, and widespread human rights abuses became commonplace in areas under Taliban control. The Hazaras were forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in safer regions or even outside the country. The trauma of this period left deep scars on the community. The world watched in horror as reports emerged of mass graves, summary executions, and the systematic persecution of a people simply for their ethnicity and faith. International organizations condemned the Taliban's actions, but the response was often too little, too late. The systematic persecution of a people simply for their ethnicity and faith drew global attention. Yet the international community struggled to provide effective intervention. The Hazaras' plight became a symbol of the broader human rights crisis in Afghanistan. Even after the fall of the Taliban regime in 2001, the Hazara community continued to face significant challenges. The end of Taliban rule brought a glimmer of hope, but the road to recovery was fraught with obstacles. Rebuilding their lives and communities required immense resilience and determination. While there were some improvements, particularly in access to education and healthcare, the progress was slow and uneven. Hazara children began to attend schools, and healthcare facilities saw some enhancements, but the scars of past persecution were not easily healed. They remained targets of violence and discrimination. Despite the progress, the Hazaras continued to face threats from various extremist groups. Protests and appeals for justice were met with limited success, as the underlying issues of discrimination persisted. The rise of extremist groups, coupled with the fragile security situation in Afghanistan, left them vulnerable to attacks, kidnappings, and targeted killings. The Hazaras' struggle for equality and security remains an ongoing battle as they continue to endure persecution in a land they have called home for centuries. The relentless cycle of violence and discrimination in Afghanistan has forced generations of Hazaras to flee their homeland, seeking safety and a future free from persecution. This mass exodus has created a vast Hazara diaspora, with communities scattered across the globe, from Iran and Pakistan to Europe, North America, and Australia. Leaving behind their ancestral land is a heart-wrenching decision, fraught with anguish and uncertainty. Many Hazaras embark on perilous journeys, risking their lives in search of a safe haven for themselves and their children. They face treacherous land routes, often at the mercy of smugglers, and endure dangerous sea voyages in overcrowded boats, their hopes clinging to the promise of a better tomorrow. Despite the challenges of starting anew in unfamiliar lands, the Hazara diaspora has demonstrated remarkable resilience and determination. They have held on to their language, their culture, and their traditions, passing them down to their children, ensuring that their heritage continues to thrive. Many have achieved success in their adopted countries, becoming doctors, lawyers, teachers, and entrepreneurs, contributing positively to their new communities.
Hazara have been victims of genocide for at least a century.
Imagine a classroom. Not just any classroom, but one nestled in the heart of Afghanistan, a place where the echoes of conflict are a daily reality. It is simple, maybe even crowded. The walls might be bare, the desks worn, and the resources limited. But look closer. See the light in the eyes of the students, the Hazara students. Their eyes sparkle with curiosity and hope, a stark contrast to the harsh realities outside. They are eager to learn. They cherish every moment. Each lesson is a step towards a future they dream of, a future where they can rise above the challenges they face. They know education is their path to a brighter future. With every page they turn, every problem they solve, they are building the foundation for a life filled with possibilities. In the heart of Afghanistan, where conflict has cast long shadows, these schools are beacons of hope. They stand as symbols of resilience and determination, defying the darkness that surrounds them. They are testaments to the unbreakable spirit of the Hazara people. Despite the adversity, despite the threats, they continue to strive for knowledge and growth. Their thirst for knowledge is an inspiration. It is a reminder that even in the most challenging circumstances, the human spirit can shine brightly. These are not just schools. They are sanctuaries where dreams are nurtured and protected. They are shelters for dreams. Within these walls, the students dare to dream big, to envision a future where they can make a difference. They are fortresses of resilience. The strength of the Hazara community is palpable. Their unity and determination a powerful force against the odds. They are a testament to the human spirit's ability to persevere, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. Each day, these students and their teachers fight a silent battle against ignorance and despair, armed with nothing but their will to learn and grow. In these classrooms, collaboration and mutual support are key. Students help each other, share their knowledge, and build a community of learners who uplift one another. The teachers, too, are heroes in their own right. They guide, inspire, and nurture the young minds, often at great personal risk. Their dedication is unwavering, their belief in the power of education unshakable. Beyond academics, these schools offer a holistic education. Extracurricular activities, arts, and sports play a crucial role in developing well-rounded individuals who are ready to face the world. Every achievement, no matter how small, is celebrated. These moments of joy and pride are the building blocks of confidence and self-belief. The support of the community is invaluable. Parents and elders play an active role in the educational journey, reinforcing the importance of learning and growth. As these students look towards the future, their hopeful gazes are a testament to their dreams and aspirations. They envision a world where they can contribute positively, where their education can be a tool for change. Their stories of perseverance and success are a beacon of hope for others. They show that with determination, resilience, and the right support, even the most daunting challenges can be overcome. Together, the students and teachers form a strong educational community. They are united in their quest for knowledge, their journey towards a brighter future. A light shines brightest in darkness. These students, these schools are that light. They are the embodiment of hope, resilience, and the unyielding human spirit. For the Hazara people, education is not just a means to an end. It is a fundamental part of their existence, a beacon of hope in a world that has often been unkind to them. From the youngest child to the eldest grandparent, the pursuit of knowledge is a cherished tradition. It is not simply a path to a job or a better life. It is a journey that shapes their very being, a journey that is as much about self-discovery as it is about academic achievement. For the Hazara, education is a lifelong commitment, a testament to their resilience and determination. Education is deeply intertwined with their identity. It is a thread that weaves through the fabric of their culture, binding them together as a community. It is through education that they preserve their history, their language, and their traditions, passing them down from one generation to the next. It is part of their soul. The Hazara people see education as a sacred duty, a way to honor their ancestors and pave the way for future generations. It is a source of pride and a symbol of their enduring spirit. They believe knowledge is power. It is the light that guides them through the darkness, the key that unlocks the doors of opportunity. In a world that has often sought to silence them, education is their voice, their means of asserting their place in society. Education is the key to breaking the cycle of poverty and oppression. It is the foundation upon which they build their dreams, the tool they use to carve out a better future. For the Hazara, education is not just about personal success. It is about lifting up their entire community. It is the weapon against injustice. In the face of discrimination and marginalization, education is their shield and their sword. It empowers them to fight for their rights, to demand equality and justice. It is through education that they challenge the status quo and strive for a more just and equitable world. It is the tool to build a better future for their children and generations to come. The Hazara people understand that the seeds of change are sown in the classroom, that the future of their community depends on the education of their youth. They invest in education not just for today, but for the promise of a brighter tomorrow. For generations, the Hazara people have been denied access to education. They have faced barriers and obstacles at every turn, from systemic discrimination to outright violence. Yet they have never given up on their quest for knowledge. They have been marginalized and persecuted, their schools have been destroyed, their teachers threatened, their students attacked. But through it all, the Hazara people have remained steadfast in their belief in the power of education. But their commitment to learning has never wavered. It is a flame that burns brightly, a testament to their resilience and determination. In the face of adversity, they have continued to pursue their education, to seek out knowledge wherever they can find it. It burns brighter than ever. Today, the Hazara people are more determined than ever to secure their right to education. They are building schools, training teachers, and creating opportunities for their children. They are fighting for a future where every Hazara child has the chance to learn, to grow, and to thrive. The Hazara people know that education is not given, it is earned. In a world where opportunities are scarce, they understand the transformative power of knowledge. For them, education is a beacon of hope, a pathway to a brighter future. So they build their own schools. With determination and resilience, they take matters into their own hands. They refuse to wait for external help that may never come. Brick by brick, they construct their future. Men, women, and children all contribute, each playing a vital role in this collective effort. The men carry heavy bricks, the women mix cement, and even the children help by carrying water. They pool their meager resources. Every family, no matter how little they have, gives what they can. Some donate materials, others offer their labor, and together they make the impossible possible. They sacrifice so much to create places of learning for their children. These sacrifices are not just financial, they are emotional and physical. Parents work long hours, often after a full day of labor, to ensure their children have a place to learn. These schools are more than just buildings. They are sanctuaries of knowledge, safe havens where dreams are nurtured and futures are forged. They are symbols of hope. Each school stands as a testament to the community's unwavering spirit and their belief in a better tomorrow. They are acts of defiance against those who seek to deny them their basic human rights. In a region often marred by conflict and oppression, building a school is a bold statement of resistance and resilience. Every school built is a victory. Each ribbon-cutting ceremony is a celebration of triumph over adversity, a moment of joy and pride for the entire community. The international community must recognize these efforts. Global organizations and aid workers play a crucial role in supporting these grassroots initiatives. We must support their struggle for education. Volunteers and donors from around the world can make a significant impact by providing resources, training, and financial aid. Their fight is our fight. Education is a universal right, and by standing with the Hazara people, we affirm our commitment to equality and justice for all. Tragically, these sanctuaries of learning have become targets. Schools and universities have been bombed. Students and teachers have been killed. The perpetrators of these attacks seek to crush the Hazara spirit. They will not succeed. These acts are not just attacks on buildings. They are assaults on the future of the Hazara people. They are attempts to extinguish the light of knowledge and hope. The world must condemn these acts of violence. We must stand in solidarity with the Hazara people. We must demand justice for the victims. Section 5. Erasing identity, one gathering at a time. The assault on Hazara culture extends beyond educational institutions. Cultural events, gatherings, even weddings have been targeted. These attacks aim to eradicate their shared identity, to silence their voices, to erase their presence. These acts of terror are designed to instill fear. They want to prevent the Hazara people from celebrating their culture and passing it on to future generations. We must not let them succeed. Section 6. From the ashes they rise. Despite the constant threat of violence, the Hazara people rebuild. They refuse to be defined by tragedy. They show us the true meaning of resilience. They know that education is their only hope. They will not let the darkness extinguish their light. They clear the rubble and start again. Their determination is an inspiration to us all. Section 7. The world cannot remain silent. The world must stand with the Hazara people. We cannot be silent in the face of such injustice. We must demand an end to the violence. We must hold the perpetrators accountable for their crimes. International organizations must provide protection and support to the Hazara community. They need our help to rebuild their lives and secure their future. Silence is complicity. Section 8. The power of a book. I know firsthand the power of education. I know the fear of being denied the right to learn. But I also know the courage it takes to fight for that right, even in the face of danger. Books are our weapons against ignorance and intolerance. Every child deserves the chance to hold a book, to learn, to dream. We must ensure that the Hazara people have that chance. Section 9. A future written in chalk. Every piece of chalk, every notebook, every book donated to the Hazara people is a step towards a brighter future. It is an investment in peace. It is an act of solidarity. Let us help them rebuild their schools. Let us support their teachers. Let us empower their children with the gift of education. Section 10. Stand with the Hazara. The Hazara people are an example to us all. They remind us that even in the darkest of times, hope can endure. Education can prevail. The human spirit can overcome. Let their story be a call to action. Let us stand with the Hazara people. Let us amplify their voices. Let us be their shield and their allies in their fight for a brighter future. Section 11. Hope endures. The path ahead for the Hazara people is long and arduous, but they do not walk it alone. They have the strength of their convictions, they have the power of their resilience, and they have the support of a global community that believes in their right to education and a future free from fear. Hope endures. The spirit of the Hazara people will not be broken. Their pursuit of knowledge will light the way to a brighter tomorrow.
A voice against genocide. Introducing Dr. Gregory H. Stanton. Dr. Gregory H. Stanton has dedicated his life to preventing genocide. He founded Genocide Watch to predict and prevent genocide worldwide. His 10 stages of genocide framework outlines the predictable stages leading to genocide. This tool helps identify early warning signs of mass violence. Dr. Stanton's insights demand international attention. We must act decisively to prevent further suffering. The Hazara people are a distinct ethnic group primarily residing in the Central Highlands of Afghanistan. They are easily identifiable by their physical features, which bear a resemblance to East Asian populations. This religious distinction has made them targets of systematic persecution throughout history. The Hazara Genocide saw the massacre and displacement of countless Hazara people. Despite immense hardship, the Hazara people have demonstrated remarkable resilience. The Hazara continue to face discrimination and violence in contemporary Afghanistan. The international community must recognize the historical context of Hazara persecution. The Taliban's return to power in 2021 has had devastating consequences for the Hazara people. Known for their extremist ideology, the Taliban have a long history of targeting the Hazara. They view the Hazara as religious heretics. The Hazara face targeted killings, forced disappearances, and systematic discrimination. Forced into hiding, many flee their homes to escape persecution. The international community must not turn a blind eye to their suffering. Dr. Stanton's 10 stages of genocide provide a framework for understanding the violence against the Hazara people. These stages can occur simultaneously or in a different order. They offer a roadmap for identifying and responding to genocide warning signs. Let's examine the current situation in Afghanistan. Classification. The Hazara are a distinct ethnic and religious group. Symbolization. The Taliban use derogatory language to dehumanize the Hazara. Discrimination. The Hazara are excluded from government, education, and economic opportunities. Dehumanization. The Taliban use hate speech and propaganda against the Hazara. Organization. The Taliban are highly organized and armed. Polarization. The Taliban incite hatred against the Hazara. The international community must recognize these warning signs and act. Section 5. Stage 7. Extermination. The urgency of the situation. The situation in Afghanistan has reached a critical juncture. Dr. Stanton warns that the persecution of the Hazara has entered the 7th stage of genocide extermination. This stage is characterized by the systematic killing of members of the targeted group. The Taliban's actions bear all the hallmarks of this stage, demanding immediate international attention and intervention. Targeted killings of Hazara civilians have become increasingly common. The Taliban have carried out massacres, bomb attacks, and assassinations aimed at terrorizing and eliminating the Hazara population. The brutality of these attacks is staggering. The Taliban have shown a blatant disregard for human life, targeting men, women, and children indiscriminately. The international community cannot afford to wait for irrefutable evidence of genocide before taking action. The principle of never again compels us to act decisively when faced with credible warnings of mass atrocities. The time for complacency is over. We must act now to prevent the extermination of the Hazara people. Section 6. A global responsibility. The call for international intervention. The plight of the Hazara people is a global responsibility. The international community cannot stand idly by while an entire ethnic group faces the threat of annihilation. We must act decisively to protect the Hazara and hold the perpetrators of these atrocities accountable. The United Nations Security Council must convene an emergency meeting to address the crisis in Afghanistan. Targeted sanctions should be imposed on Taliban leaders and those responsible for crimes against the Hazara. The International Criminal Court should open an investigation into the Taliban's actions, gathering evidence and pursuing justice for the victims. Safe passage should be granted to Hazara refugees seeking asylum in other countries. The international community must provide financial and logistical support to organizations working on the ground to protect the Hazara. Section 7. Breaking the silence. Raising awareness for the Hazara people. One of the most powerful tools we have in the fight against genocide is raising awareness. The world needs to know what is happening to the Hazara people. We must break the silence and amplify their voices. Social media has become a powerful platform for sharing information and mobilizing action. We can use our voices to share the stories of the Hazara, raise awareness about the ongoing atrocities, and demand justice. We can pressure our governments to take action by contacting our elected officials, signing petitions, and organizing protests. The media plays a crucial role in shaping public opinion. We must urge journalists to cover the Hazara Genocide, to shed light on the plight of this persecuted community. By bringing their stories to light, we can galvanize international pressure and force governments to act. Section 8. Standing in solidarity. Concrete actions to support the Hazara. Beyond raising awareness, there are concrete actions we can take to support the Hazara people. These actions, though seemingly small, can collectively make a significant difference. Sponsor a Hazara refugee seeking asylum. Providing a safe haven to those fleeing persecution can be a life-saving act of compassion. These actions demonstrate our solidarity with the Hazara people and our commitment to preventing another genocide. Section 9. A plea for humanity. Preventing another genocide. The situation in Afghanistan is a test of our humanity. Will we stand by and watch as history repeats itself? Or will we act decisively to prevent another genocide? The answer is clear. We cannot allow the Hazara people to be erased. We must remember the lessons of the past. We must heed the warnings of experts like Dr. Gregory Stanton. We must act with urgency and determination to protect the Hazara people and hold the perpetrators of these atrocities accountable. Let us not be remembered as the generation that stood by while genocide unfolded before our eyes. Let us be the generation that said never again and meant it. The time for action is now.
The Hazara people of Afghanistan know deep suffering. For generations, they have endured relentless persecution and violence. Their history is a tapestry woven with threads of resilience and sorrow. They are a people defined by their strength, yet haunted by the specter of genocide. The Hazara are often described as East Asian, set them apart within Afghanistan. This difference, both religious and physical, has made them targets of discrimination and violence for over a century. Their story is not widely known, their cries for help often lost in the cacophony of global crises. But their suffering is no less real, their need for justice no less urgent. It is time to shine a light on the plight of the Hazara, to give voice to their silenced narratives, and to demand an end to their suffering. The roots of the Hazara genocide run deep, reaching back to the late 19th century. Amir Abdur Rahman Khan, then ruler of Afghanistan, embarked on a brutal campaign to subdue the Hazara population and seize their lands. This marked the beginning of a systematic persecution that would stain the pages of history. Massacres, forced displacement, and enslavement became the tragic hallmarks of Hazara life. Their homes were razed, their lands confiscated, and their cultural and religious practices suppressed. The memory of this brutal era, known as the Amir's Genocide, is etched into the collective memory of the Hazara people. It is a memory kept alive through oral histories, passed down through generations like a sacred flame. The stories tell of unimaginable cruelty, of families torn apart, and of a people forced to flee their ancestral lands. These echoes of the past continue to reverberate in the present, shaping the Hazara experience and fueling their fight for survival. Despite the relentless persecution, the Hazara people have managed to preserve their rich cultural heritage. Their festivals, traditional clothing, and community gatherings are a testament to their resilience and enduring spirit. Hazara scholars, poets, and artists have played a crucial role in keeping their history and culture alive. Through their works, they have documented the struggles and triumphs of their people, ensuring that the world does not forget their plight. Education has been a beacon of hope for the Hazara community. Despite facing numerous challenges, Hazara women and children have pursued education with determination, seeing it as a path to empowerment and a brighter future. In recent years, Hazara activists have gained international attention for their efforts to highlight the ongoing persecution and demand justice. Protests and campaigns have been organized worldwide, drawing support from various human rights organizations. The Hazara diaspora, spread across various countries, continues to play a vital role in advocating for their community. They have established organizations and networks to support Hazara refugees and raise awareness about their struggles. Many Hazara refugees have shown remarkable resilience in rebuilding their lives in new countries. Their success stories serve as an inspiration, demonstrating the strength and determination of the Hazara people. Efforts to preserve Hazara culture and history have led to the establishment of museums and cultural centers. These institutions play a crucial role in educating future generations about the rich heritage and the struggles of the Hazara people. Community leaders and elders continue to be the guiding force for the Hazara people. Their wisdom and experience are invaluable in navigating the challenges faced by the community and in keeping the spirit of resistance alive. The younger generation of Hazaras is stepping up to take on leadership roles. Initiatives for youth empowerment and leadership development are helping to prepare them to carry forward the legacy of their ancestors and to fight for a just and equitable future. Solidarity events and international collaborations have strengthened the Hazara movement. By building alliances with other marginalized communities and human rights advocates, the Hazaras are amplifying their voices and pushing for global recognition of their rights. The story of the Hazara people is one of resilience, hope, and unity. Despite the century-long persecution, they have remained steadfast in their fight for justice and dignity. Their unwavering spirit continues to inspire and remind us of the enduring power of the human will. The impact of the genocide extends far beyond the physical realm. It has permeated every aspect of the Hazara community's existence, leaving an indelible mark on their collective consciousness. The pain and suffering inflicted upon them have not only resulted in the loss of countless lives, but have also deeply affected their cultural and social structures. It has left deep scars on the Hazara psyche, fracturing their cultural identity and shattering their social fabric. The once vibrant and cohesive communities have been left in disarray, struggling to hold on to the remnants of their rich heritage. The cultural festivals that once brought joy and unity now serve as painful reminders of what has been lost. Generations of persecution have resulted in the loss of language, traditions, and cultural practices. The traditional crafts that were once passed down through generations are now at risk of being forgotten. Elders who hold the knowledge of these traditions find it increasingly difficult to pass them on to the younger generation, who are often more focused on survival than cultural preservation. Forced assimilation policies sought to erase their distinct identity, leaving many Hazara feeling like strangers in their own land. The younger generation, in particular, faces an identity crisis, torn between the desire to fit into the dominant culture and the need to preserve their unique heritage. This internal conflict has led to a sense of alienation and loss of self-worth among many Hazara youth. The systematic destruction of their cultural heritage, including religious sites and historical monuments, has severed their connection to the past. These sites were not just physical structures but symbols of their history and identity. The loss of these monuments has left a void that is difficult to fill, as it represents a deliberate attempt to erase their existence from the annals of history. The genocide has also had a devastating impact on their social structures. The once tight-knit communities have been fragmented, with families being displaced and scattered across different regions. The sense of community that provided support and strength has been eroded, leaving individuals to fend for themselves in an increasingly hostile environment. Families have been torn apart, communities shattered, and trust eroded. The trauma of losing loved ones and the constant threat of violence have created an atmosphere of fear and mistrust. The mourning of those lost is a daily reality, and the emotional scars run deep, affecting every aspect of their lives. The trauma of violence has left its mark on generations, leading to widespread poverty, illiteracy, and lack of access to basic services. The economic and educational opportunities that are essential for rebuilding their lives are severely limited. Children growing up in these conditions face an uncertain future, with little hope of breaking the cycle of poverty and marginalization. The unseen scars of the genocide are a constant reminder of the injustices they have endured and the long road to healing that lies ahead. The resilience of the Hazara people is evident in their continued efforts to preserve their culture and rebuild their communities, but the path to recovery is fraught with challenges. The journey towards healing and justice is ongoing, and it requires the support and recognition of the international community to ensure that the Hazara people can reclaim their rightful place in history. The Hazara genocide is not a relic of the past, it is a grim reality of the present. The Hazara people have faced persecution for over a century. Their distinct cultural and religious identity has made them targets of systematic violence and discrimination. This ongoing struggle is a testament to their resilience and the dire need for global awareness and intervention. Despite promises of peace and progress, the Hazara continue to face systematic discrimination and violence in Afghanistan. The promises made by various Afghan governments and international bodies have often fallen short, leaving the Hazara in a perpetual state of insecurity. Their homes, places of worship, and community centers have been repeatedly attacked, leaving a trail of devastation and loss. They are targeted by the Taliban, the Islamic State, and other extremist groups who view them as infidels. These groups have carried out numerous attacks, aiming to eradicate the Hazara presence in Afghanistan. The Hazara's Shia Muslim faith makes them a particular target for these Sunni extremist groups, who see their existence as a threat to their ideology. Bombings, targeted killings, and attacks on schools and hospitals have become a terrifying part of daily life for many Hazara. These attacks are not random acts of violence, but are part of a calculated strategy to instill fear and drive the Hazara out of their ancestral lands. The psychological impact of living under constant threat cannot be overstated, as it affects every aspect of their lives. They are denied access to education, healthcare, and employment opportunities, trapping them in a cycle of poverty and despair. The lack of basic services and opportunities has stunted the growth of entire generations. Hazara children, who should be the future of their community, are instead growing up in an environment where their potential is systematically suppressed. The withdrawal of international forces and the Taliban's return to power in 2021 have further exacerbated their vulnerability. The international community's exit has left a power vacuum that the Taliban quickly filled, leading to a resurgence of violence and oppression. The Hazara, who had hoped for a more secure future, now find themselves more vulnerable than ever. The Hazara are once again living in fear, their future uncertain, their cries for help largely ignored by the international community. Despite numerous reports and pleas for intervention, the global response has been tepid at best. The Hazaras' plight is often overshadowed by other geopolitical issues, leaving them to fend for themselves in an increasingly hostile environment. Their plight is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the urgent need for international action to protect them from further atrocities. The world must not turn a blind eye to their suffering. It is imperative that international organizations, governments, and civil society come together to provide the Hazara with the protection and support they desperately need. Only through collective action can we hope to end this ongoing struggle and ensure a safer, more just future for the Hazara people.
The Hazara people, a community with a rich cultural heritage and a history that is both inspiring and tragic. An ethnic group, primarily Muslim, residing in the mountainous region of Hazara in central Afghanistan, they have called this rugged terrain home for centuries. Known for their distinct Asiatic features and their unwavering spirit, the Hazara people stand out in a nation of diverse ethnicities. Yet their history is a tapestry woven with threads of persecution and suffering, a narrative that has been largely overlooked by the world. For centuries, the Hazara people have endured unimaginable hardships, often being forced to flee their homes in search of safety. They have faced discrimination, violence, and oppression at the hands of various regimes and extremist groups. Their story is one of resilience, but also one that demands attention and action from the global community. The world needs to know about the silent genocide being waged against them, a systematic attempt to erase their existence. The Hazara people have long been marginalized within Afghanistan, often treated as second-class citizens. Their distinct physical appearance and Shia Muslim faith have made them targets of prejudice and violence, setting them apart in a predominantly Sunni Muslim country. Despite facing constant threats, they have clung fiercely to their identity and culture, celebrating their heritage with pride. They speak Hazaragi, a dialect of Persian, and their traditions are a rich blend of Persian and Central Asian influences, reflecting their unique place in the cultural mosaic of Afghanistan. Their history is a testament to their strength and their unwavering spirit in the face of adversity, a story of survival against all odds. But their resilience has been tested time and again, as they continue to face new challenges and threats. The Hazara people have been subjected to a campaign of systematic persecution and violence that has spanned over a century, a dark chapter in human history. This campaign, often unrecognized by the international community, has all the hallmarks of a genocide, a slow, silent extermination of a people based solely on their ethnicity and religion, a crime against humanity that demands justice. It is a painful and heart-wrenching narrative that needs to be told, a story that cries out for recognition and action. The world must understand the plight of the Hazara people and stand in solidarity with them in their struggle for survival and dignity. We must break the silence and shine a light on the atrocities they have endured for far too long, bringing their story to the forefront of global consciousness. Their story is not just a historical account of suffering, but a stark reminder of the urgent need for action and justice, a call to the world to stand up against oppression and support the Hazara people in their quest for peace and equality. The late 19th century marked a dark turn in the history of the Hazara people, a time that would forever alter their fate and identity. This period saw the rise of Abdul Rahman Khan, the Emir of Afghanistan from 1880 to 1901, a ruler whose name would become synonymous with tyranny and oppression. He harbored a deep-seated prejudice against the Hazaras and viewed them as a threat to his rule, a sentiment that would drive his brutal policies. His reign ushered in an era of systematic persecution and violence against the Hazara people, setting the stage for the ongoing genocide that has plagued them for generations. Abdul Rahman Khan, driven by a desire to consolidate his power and create a more homogeneous Afghan state, embarked on a brutal campaign targeting the Hazaras, aiming to erase their presence and influence. He saw their distinct culture, language, and Shia Muslim faith as obstacles to his vision of a unified Afghanistan, a vision that left no room for diversity or dissent. His reign marked the beginning of a systematic effort to subjugate and eliminate the Hazara people, an effort that would leave deep scars on their community. Rahman Khan's forces unleashed a wave of violence across Hazarajat, the Hazara heartland, a region that had long been a bastion of Hazara culture and autonomy. Villages were razed to the ground, men were brutally murdered, and entire communities were decimated in a campaign of terror. Women and children were sold into slavery, their lives forever altered by the horrors they endured. The Emir's policies led to the massacre of thousands of Hazaras, a tragedy that would echo through the annals of history. Those who survived were often displaced from their ancestral lands, forced to flee and seek refuge in unfamiliar territories. This period of intense persecution left an indelible scar on the Hazara psyche, solidifying their status as a marginalized and oppressed within Afghanistan, a status that has persisted to this day. The brutality of Abdul Rahman Khan's reign instilled a deep-seated fear and mistrust of the Afghan government within the Hazara community, a fear that has been passed down through generations. This sense of vulnerability and persecution has been passed down through generations, shaping their identity and their perception of the world around them, a world that has often been hostile and unwelcoming. The seeds of genocide sown during this period continue to bear bitter fruit even today, as the Hazara people continue to face discrimination, violence, and marginalization in modern Afghanistan. The decades following Abdul Rahman Khan's reign offered little respite for the Hazara people. The scars of past atrocities lingered, and the community found itself grappling with a legacy of pain and suffering. They continued to face systematic discrimination and violence. The Hazara people were often targeted in brutal attacks, their homes and businesses destroyed, and their lives constantly under threat. They were denied access to education, healthcare, and employment opportunities. Schools in Hazara regions were underfunded, and healthcare facilities were scarce and poorly equipped, leaving the community vulnerable to disease and illiteracy. Their lands were confiscated, and they were pushed further into poverty and marginalization. Many Hazara families were forcibly displaced from their ancestral homes, their properties seized without compensation. The Hazara people became trapped in a cycle of oppression, their voices silenced, their suffering largely ignored by the world. International attention was fleeting, and meaningful support was often absent. The 20th century witnessed a succession of Afghan governments that, while varying in their degree of brutality, perpetuated the systematic oppression of the Hazara people. Each regime brought its own set of challenges, but the underlying discrimination remained constant. They were subjected to discriminatory laws and policies that relegated them to second-class citizens within their own country. These policies restricted their rights and freedoms, making it difficult for them to improve their living conditions. Their plight was further exacerbated by the turmoil and instability that plagued Afghanistan throughout the 20th century, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation and violence. The constant state of conflict made it nearly impossible for the Hazara people to find peace and security. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979 brought a new wave of suffering for the Hazara people. The invasion disrupted their lives, bringing with it a new era of violence and uncertainty. Caught in the crossfire between the Soviet-backed Afghan government and the Mujahideen rebels, their villages were bombed, their homes destroyed, and their lives upended. The war left a trail of devastation, with many Hazara communities reduced to rubble. The war forced many Hazaras to flee their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring countries like Pakistan and Iran. These refugees faced harsh conditions, often living in overcrowded camps with limited access to basic necessities. Despite the hardships they endured, the Hazara people never lost their spirit or their determination to preserve their identity. They continued to celebrate their cultural traditions, holding on to the customs and practices that defined their community. They clung to their language, their culture, and their faith, finding strength in their shared history and their unwavering sense of community. Religious ceremonies and language classes became vital in maintaining their heritage. However, their resilience would be put to the ultimate test with the rise of the Taliban. The Taliban's harsh rule brought new levels of persecution, targeting the Hazara people with renewed ferocity and further threatening their existence. The mid-1990s saw the emergence of the Taliban, a radical Islamic group that seized control of Afghanistan. Their ascent to power marked a terrifying turning point in the plight of the Hazara people. The Taliban, with their extremist ideology and deep-seated hatred for the Hazara Shia Muslims, unleashed a reign of terror that plunged the community into a nightmare. The Taliban's ideology, rooted in a fundamentalist interpretation of Sunni Islam, deemed the Shia Hazaras as heretics deserving of persecution. This ideological hatred fueled a systematic campaign of violence and oppression aimed at eliminating the Hazara people. The Taliban's rise to power extinguished any glimmer of hope for a brighter future for the Hazara community. Under the Taliban's rule, the Hazara people were subjected to unspeakable atrocities. Massacres, forced disappearances, torture, and rape became commonplace. The Taliban imposed strict restrictions on their religious practices, banned their language and culture, and denied them access to education and healthcare. The Hazara people were trapped in a living hell, their cries for help largely ignored by the international community. The world watched in horror as reports emerged of the Taliban's systematic brutality against the Hazara people. The massacre of thousands of Hazaras in Mazar-e-Sharif in 1998, following the city's capture by the Taliban, sent shockwaves across the globe. The world was forced to confront the horrific reality of the genocide being perpetrated against the Hazara people.
Black Day. It hangs heavy in the air, a day etched in sorrow, a stark reminder of the brutal genocide inflicted upon the Hazara people. We remember, we mourn, we fight for a future free from this dark history. The Hazara people have endured centuries of persecution. This day, we remember their pain, honor their strength, and stand in solidarity. Hazara Black Day is a day of remembrance, resilience, and hope for a brighter future. Amir Abdur Rahman Khan, known as the Iron Amir, ascended to the throne of Afghanistan in 1880. His reign was marked by a brutal campaign to centralize power and quell any form of dissent. The Hazara people, with their distinct culture, language, became targets in his quest for a homogeneous nation. He viewed them as a threat, both politically and religiously. Fueled by prejudice and paranoia, the Emir launched a systematic campaign of violence and oppression against the Hazaras. His forces carried out massacres, seized lands, and imposed crippling taxes. Thousands of Hazaras were killed. Many more were displaced from their ancestral lands in the lush valleys of Hazarajat, forced to flee to neighbouring countries or into the harsher, less hospitable regions of Afghanistan. The Emir's reign of terror left an indelible mark on the Hazara people. It shattered their communities, decimated their population, and relegated them to the margins of Afghan society. The violence they endured was not merely a product of the past. It sowed the seeds of continued persecution that the Hazara people continue to face today. The genocide of the 1890s inflicted deep wounds on the Hazara community. The loss of life, the theft of land, and the erosion of their cultural identity continue to reverberate through generations. The echoes of that trauma are carried in their collective memory, a constant reminder of the injustices they have endured. The systematic discrimination and marginalization that followed the genocide further compounded their suffering. The Hazaras were denied equal opportunities in education, employment, and political representation. They were subjected to prejudice and bigotry, their voices silenced, their stories unheard. This historical trauma left scars not just on individuals, but on the very fabric of Hazara society. The loss of their ancestral lands disrupted their traditional way of life, forcing many into poverty and displacement. The denial of their cultural identity chipped away at their sense of belonging. Despite the passage of time, justice for the atrocities committed against the Hazara people remains elusive. The struggle for recognition of the genocide and the demand for accountability from those in power continues to this day. For the Hazara community, this is not just about righting past wrongs. It is about securing a future free from fear and discrimination. The fight for justice manifests in various forms. Hazara activists around the world raise awareness about the historical and ongoing persecution. They organize protests, engage in advocacy, and use their platforms to amplify Hazara voices. Within Afghanistan, despite facing constant security threats, Hazara leaders and human rights defenders tirelessly advocate for their rights, demanding an end to discrimination and violence. Section 5. Targeted violence in a modern age. Tragically, the persecution of the Hazara people did not end in the 19th century. They remain targets of violence and discrimination in present-day Afghanistan and beyond. Armed groups, fueled by extremist ideologies, continue to single out Hazaras, carrying out bombings, targeted killings, and abductions. The rise of extremist groups like the Taliban, with their history of brutality against Hazaras, has exacerbated the vulnerability of the community. The Taliban's return to power in Afghanistan in 2021 has sent shockwaves of fear through the Hazara community, raising concerns about a resurgence of targeted violence. This persistent threat of violence has a devastating impact on the daily lives of Hazaras. They live with the constant fear of attacks, their movements restricted, their access to education and healthcare limited. This climate of fear has also triggered a new wave of displacement, forcing many Hazaras to flee their homes in search of safety. Section 6. The Seeds of Hope, Blooming in Adversity. Despite the darkness that has shrouded their history and the ongoing challenges they face, the Hazara people have not succumbed to despair. Their story is one of remarkable resilience, a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure and overcome. Within the Hazara community, there is a strong sense of collective identity and solidarity. They draw strength from their shared history, their cultural heritage, and their unwavering determination to create a better future for generations to come. This spirit of resilience is clearly visible in their commitment to education. Despite facing numerous obstacles, Hazara families prioritize the education of their children, particularly girls, recognizing it as a powerful tool for empowerment and social change. Section 7. The Power of Memory, a Call for Action. Remembering the genocide against the Hazara people is not merely an act of looking back, it is a call to action, a demand for justice. Silence is complicity. On Hazara Black Day, we honour the victims, acknowledge the pain of the survivors, and stand in solidarity with the Hazara community worldwide. Reflect on the consequences of hatred and intolerance, and reaffirm our commitment to a world free from such atrocities. Section 8. Beyond Borders, a global stand for Hazara rights. The struggle for Hazara rights is not confined to the borders of Afghanistan. It is a global movement that transcends geographical boundaries, uniting people from all walks of life who believe in equality, justice, and human rights. The Hazara diaspora, scattered across the globe, plays a crucial role in raising awareness about the plight of their people. They organize protests, lobby governments, and use social media to amplify Hazara voices and advocate for change. They are the keepers of their history, ensuring that the world does not forget the atrocities committed against the Hazara people. The global community has a moral obligation to support the Hazara people in their struggle for justice and equality. This includes providing humanitarian assistance to those displaced by conflict, holding perpetrators of violence accountable, and pressuring governments to uphold the rights of all their citizens, regardless of their ethnicity or religion. Section 9. A Future Unwritten, Painted with Resilience. The story of the Hazara people is a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. Despite centuries of adversity, they strive for a brighter future. Their resilience is a beacon of hope for all marginalized people. The future of the Hazara people is unwritten, but they are determined to shape it. They envision a future where their children can live without fear. Let us stand in solidarity with them and amplify their voices.
The Hazara people, a unique and vibrant community, a tapestry of resilience woven into the very fabric of Afghanistan, their culture rich and colorful. For centuries, they have called the rugged mountainous heartland their home, thriving in the face of adversity. Their features, a reflection of their ancient Central Asian roots, the Hazaras are known for their unwavering spirit, their deep-rooted traditions, and a profound connection to their land, which they cherish deeply. Generations have navigated the trials of life in a landlocked nation, adapting and persevering through countless challenges. Their history, a testament to their enduring strength, is filled with stories of resilience and courage. Their story is one of both hardship and hope, a narrative etched into the soul of Afghanistan, resonating with the spirit of survival. It's a story that deserves to be heard, understood, and remembered, a legacy that continues to inspire. Education, a beacon of hope, a light in the darkness. For the Hazara people, it's more than just learning. It's a path to empowerment, a way to rise above their circumstances. It's a way to reclaim their narrative and shape their own destiny, to tell their own stories. Despite facing immense challenges, they have an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, a drive that cannot be extinguished. Schools, even in remote villages, are filled with children eager to learn, their eyes shining with curiosity, their determination, a testament to their belief in a brighter future, a future they are determined to create. Families sacrifice greatly to educate their children, understanding the power of knowledge. They understand that education is the key to breaking the cycle of poverty and discrimination, a key to unlocking potential. This commitment to learning is a testament to their resilience and their hope for a better tomorrow, a tomorrow filled with possibilities. Hospitality runs deep within Hazara culture. It's a tradition passed down through generations, a symbol of their strength and unity. They welcome guests with open arms and generous hearts. Their homes, though often humble, are filled with warmth and the aroma of freshly baked bread. Sharing is an integral part of their way of life. Their sense of community is unwavering. They support each other through thick and thin. This collective spirit is their strength, their shield against the storms of adversity. Section 4. Enduring the unthinkable. The Hazaras have endured unimaginable suffering. They have been the target of persecution and violence for far too long. Yet, their spirit remains unbroken. Genocide and terrorism have cast a dark shadow over their lives. They have witnessed unspeakable atrocities, their resilience tested time and time again. But they refuse to be silenced. They rise from the ashes, stronger and more determined than ever before. Their resilience is a testament to the power of the human spirit. Section 5. A global call for justice. The world is finally starting to pay attention to the plight of the Hazara people, a community that has faced immense hardships and persecution for decades. Their story resonates with people across the globe, touching hearts and sparking a call to action. There's a growing movement demanding justice and an end to their suffering, a movement that transcends borders and cultures. International organizations and human rights activists are working tirelessly to amplify their voices, ensuring that the world does not turn a blind eye. The fight is far from over, but there is hope, a glimmer of light in the darkness. The global recognition of their plight is a step in the right direction, a crucial milestone in their journey for justice. It's a testament to the power of solidarity and the belief in a more just and compassionate world, where every voice matters and every life is valued.
Hey, you made it to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. See you next time.